I will be very brief. Just a reminder, my name is Michael Prager. I'm super proud to be one of the sponsors here at Southwest Ohio GiveCamp. And the video you were just watching, and you might have caught just a few minutes of it, is about Computer Science Education Week. That's coming up December 9th through the 15th. For some of you that are in here that are with the nonprofits or maybe not be as technical, you might be amazed at some of the things that you just saw over this past weekend that the volunteers did. So let's give the volunteers a big round of applause. What's amazing about that is all the great skills that they brought to bear are something that's going to continue to multiply year over year over year. And so this is a great event that's for students from ages 6 to 96, Computer Science Week, where you can actually go out to this website. They have a great program where each and every one of you, even without any technical skills, can teach younger students about computer science and what it means to code. So you don't necessarily you don't need to know anything about coding. This could be a paper-based exercise, or it could be something that they do on the computers at school. So I really encourage you to take a look at the sheets that were handed out. It gives you some information and a website to go out to, and I would encourage you to get involved. Maybe go check out a local school, or if you have kids in school, maybe it's something you want to go in and actually teach it. And I promise you, it's there for every level that you can get involved. So thank you so much.
All right, and Michael already thanked everyone. We're going to give a little statistics of what we accomplished this weekend here. So we had 77 volunteers that came and registered and attended, 8 organizers, 25 nonprofit representatives, approximately 20 kids came and decorated cookies, so 130 total people. Of those 130 people, the developer hours, the volunteer hours, developers, designers, etc., approximately 1,778 hours we estimated based on when people were here, etc., sort of things. For those 12 nonprofits, so a total of about $14,000 in value per nonprofit. So that's what everyone. So given that, this closing ceremonies is all about to show off what everybody did. So we're going to get started right off with the nonprofits showing a quick 3-4 minute demo of what they accomplished over the weekend. First up is British Transportation Museum, and to refresh everyone's memory, this is what it looked like before, and now we'll see what it looks like after.
Okay, so, okay. Yeah, my name's Alan Garris. I'm the team lead for the British Transportation Museum, and we just bring British Car Museum. The current website is currently, if you notice what I typed, it already bumps you up to a site in the UK. The current website is, from my understanding, kind of a hand-me-down, and various people have their hands in it, and as you can see, there's lots of big text and mixed fonts and stuff in squares and
minimal graphics.
Yeah, minimal graphics. Some of the pages don't load anything, like this one. Oops, I just closed it. And let's see. I used a Chrome really quick. British Car Museum. So they have something like a happenings page, there's an image that doesn't load. All these are links, but they're formatted all differently, different colors, different fonts, bold, not bold, italicized, all that fun stuff. So the current website, and this is currently still live, we haven't migrated the DNS to the new site yet. It's not terribly usable, so they, of course, came to GiveCamp to have a revamped website. So I was assigned to the team as the team lead, and what I would like to say is that our team came in and we got all the graphics and we set up the new CMS and everything worked out great. That did not happen on our team. Our team had a lot of technical problems throughout the weekend, and it was just one of these things where had a problem, okay, we think we fixed it, now we can move on. Oh, another problem, think we fixed it, now we can move on, and so on and so on. We had problems with the CMS, we had problems with our source code repository, things like that. It even got to the point where last night around 7:30, 8 p.m., the 5 of us sat over there in this room when it was empty, and we seriously considered dumping our original CMS and moving to something completely different. As it turns out, we did not do that. So one of the people I would certainly like to thank is Mike, wherever Mike is. Mike from GiveCamp came in and quite literally saved our bacon. Came in and fixed all of our Brocco issues since we were doing a Brocco solution. So that allowed us to continue to do the actual work instead of trying to figure out plug-in bugs and all sorts of stuff that was just taking a lot of time. So certainly thank Mike. I'd also like to thank Andrew, who was also, Andrew over there. He came in and gave us a really nice overview of how Brocco worked, because a lot of their videos and stuff was kind of a little too in-depth for what we needed. And also to Chad in Arizona. Yeah, he also was helpful, so he's, I assume not here, he's still in Arizona. And I would certainly like to thank the team, because this is one of these things where any one of them could have easily said, you know, this just isn't worth it, it's not going to work, and pack up and go home for the weekend. But everyone stuck it out, and so actually, could whoever is left here from our team stand up, if anyone? Okay. So for us and the team, it was actually a very frustrating weekend, but the good part is, and I need to type in the funky word, British.
They persevered, they hung in there, they very professional.
Never threw a computer once.
It got tense, and they hung in there.
All right, so this is our Brocco solution, and this is one of these things where if you saw our whiteboard, we had a whole bunch of stuff we wanted to get done. Maybe half of it actually is running now on the site. So from a developer standpoint, some of us were kind of down on kind of the outcome, but if you, first off, if you go through and look, and there's still a lot of copy and images that still need to be added, but we have a nice car listing page which has all sorts of details on each car when they finish putting all that stuff in, like the history of each car they have. They've got some publications that will come in soon. We've got a support list, like if you click here, that jumps right to the justgive.org site, so you can donate money to the museum. We've got a why donate page, membership page, what it means to be a member of the British Transportation Museum, and some other stuff like that. So, so from one standpoint, from a developer standpoint, okay, yeah, we didn't get a lot of the stuff we wanted to get done, but on the other hand, I'll turn it over to Pete here, and he can tell you what he thinks of what we did.
And the biggest chore they had was to train us untrainable older folks, so that was fantastic. I mean, they hung in there, and then they came up with a very good technical solution to our problem, and they handed it off to us with some training for us to be able to use it, and it is going to be very usable. And networking out there, building the bridges, I think you're doing them Brocco, and they're happy with it, so they're saying they can use it, and I'm sure we can too. And our team came in without any real training in Brocco. I know we couldn't even spell it, but I think they can at least do that. But they, with Mike's help, and they pulled it all together, and it gives us a new meaning of what team is all about. So we thank them very, very much.
I'd like to thank the British Transportation Museum team for being here. They were here all evening Friday, all day Saturday, all this morning. All 4 of them were here, so they really stuck it out with us as well. So I'd like to thank all of them.
So next up, we actually got 2 projects. Building bridges was the main project, and they also got to do parachute as well. So James is going to come up and show you 2. Building bridges looked good in the first place. They didn't really redesign that one much, I don't think, just added some features to it. So. Okay.
I don't actually have the old site to show you that we changed. Like, this up here was broke like The news section of Brocco fixed that, and we removed the recent updates and integrated it to Facebook and other things.
Right, yep. So we fixed upcoming events. There's actually now like events, like real events, instead of just one broken event. And we also integrated straight to Facebook, so you can like them directly from the page, which I'm not going to like it for this person. But, and then show like who likes it and all that jazz. We also did a lot of training, like going over like how to use the site. She inherited the site like 2 years after the developer developed the site. So there was like she had no training basically and figured out her own. So I just went in there and like showed her how you use this. It was a little bit difficult because it's on a PHP-based platform called Expression Engine. I don't know PHP at all, neither did any of our developers, and I'd never heard of Expression Engine before, so I was basically doing this on the fly. So that was kind of nice. We also like did some things like combined some of these different groups of stories. The other site that we worked on was Parachute Casa. Is that right? Yes. All right. So here, we moved Contact Us to the bottom. This was on every page, like right here at the top. We put this big giant donate banner up here. We also did the same thing with Facebook. She saw that on Building Bridges site. It's like, me too, me too.
We borrow a lot.
This news didn't have any pictures, like with thumbnails here, so we added thumbnails to all of our pictures. I had to go into XSL, which I'm not familiar with at all, so that was really nice in XSL. Put up buttons for Facebook and YouTube and joining their mailing list. We also fixed their volunteer application. They have a big, giant volunteer application and with tons and tons of fields. And before, basically, you could fill out this giant thing and then hit submit. And if there was an error, it would just shoot you all the way back up to the top and say you have errors. So we fixed it to where it actually like shows you what field it is, the error, and then it would jump straight to that field, so you don't get, I guess, just frustrated and stop filling this thing out, because it's a big, long form. And also, what else? When you hit submit, it emails her, and it used to email just a giant list, completely no formatting, just like field response all the way down with no formatting at all. And I guess that was kind of hard to manage, so we fixed that. We have like 30 things that we did, and I can barely remember what they were. But
We finally got rid of our AOL email.
oh yes, they're all on AOL. So if your charity emails you an AOL, like the first thing I'm gonna think is like, well, this is a scam. So we got off AOL, now they have like Parachute, like at parachutecasa.org, and that's nice. Yeah. We're pretty happy. I think we had a pretty good run.
We are very happy. I mean, these guys were awesome, all three of them, and I think our site looks so much better, and he's going to do one more thing for me this week, add a Flickr thing. With Building Bridges, helping at-risk kids, people want to see, who they're helping. And unlike Parachute, she can't use her actual kids. We can use our actual kids. So the more photos and things, James said that you can get on there, the better. And that's what really sells people, is they see these kids and they want to help.
We were really honored to they designed our whole website here with Brocco in 2011. So this is my second trip back here, so thank you everyone. And I left here, for those of you who are here for the first time, with something that I could manage, which is really a blessing for nonprofits. So when they tweaked it this year, it's because I've been on here more. And I promise you, these three have spent more time on our website in 3 days than we will as a nonprofit all year. So this is huge for us. We would never have $14,000 to do this and keep us up to date. So thank you all for doing this, because it is huge for us and it impacts a lot of kids and a lot of really worthy organizations. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, we also updated the header too, which I think looks better.
Who is the team?
Oh yeah,
Team stand up.
Kelly, and Carl.
So next up is Camp Joy. We don't have a before for them because it didn't exist. So
Right. All new.
So we have a Camp Joy mobile application, which we identified or developed over the weekend, both in iOS and Android. So we're just going to go through the app a little bit here. It's called Identity. So this app helps children identify winter trees with no leaves on them. So we have on the left the Android version and on the right the iPhone version. So this is just our splash screen and just tells a little bit about Identity and Camp Joy. So if we go to the Identify tab, we can now walk through a series of steps that the kids can to help identify a tree, and they either pick option A or B here. So option A is branches, twigs, and leaf scars are opposite. So if they were to see that on a tree out in the wild, they would tap that.
There you go. Thanks, Alex.
There we go. And then, so they can use images to help them identify different properties of the tree when they pick. And if you guys want to tap the top one again. All right, why don't we just keep clicking the top one. So you just go through a series of steps until you get to, this is your tree. And in this case, it's the bitternut hickory. And here you can see some images of the tree and the bark and some of the leaves. And you can zoom in and swipe through them and make them bigger. Then also on the screen you can find out more details about the tree, description, how big it grows, and what part of the country it grows in. And what it looks like there's a little image without leaves. We have a few other tabs like the glossary that just gives terms that children may not know about trees. So they can look up and get info if they're not unsure of some of the terms in the app. So that is Identity, and you should be able to download it from the Android store tonight, and the Apple store is awaiting approval, so you should definitely download those and give them high reviews.
Give a huge thank you to all the crew and the few that aren't here. This is an amazing teaching tool. They also have a little hidden there of the kids are going through options, and sometimes when you hand an app to a kid and you're like, here, try to learn this, you don't know which way they went, and there's actually a function for as an educator, I can go in and see what steps they took, and then, oh, here's where you had a choice that maybe we need to go back and look at and reevaluate. So it's an amazing educator tool, not just a learning identification tool as well. So really a huge kudos to what you guys were able to do in this short amount of time, just mind-blowingly awesome. So you guys are awesome. Thank you to the rest of the crew as well. So thank you.
These are the only other two here.
So next up is Dakota Center. They've had a different challenge because Ernie, the team lead's been sick all weekend, so they've had to lead by committee, I guess. So testimonial of how to use the product. The client is going to come demo the product. So this was before.
I just want to start off by thanking the team that we had this year. Last year we kind of snuck in last minute, and so this year I got the benefit of having people who knew what they were going to do ahead of time. And I want to especially thank Isaac and Nick, who were here the whole weekend to help us get this as ready to deploy as possible. So just a shout out to you guys, you're awesome. Thank you so much. So the site itself doesn't look a whole lot different from where it was last year. The real magic is on the back end. Now it's attached to Drupal, which is a content management system that I can teach and hand off to other people that are not me to update the website, which is so fantastic. We also have some integration. The articles now are attached to the content management system. So instead of me having to like rewrite a text HTML file each time I want news, I can go in and just through Drupal just add it, and then the latest 2 articles will just appear right here underneath this slideshow. And then we also have Facebook integration so people can comment, and I'm going to get some more training on how that works. We also have a new events calendar, so we actually have events on the website now that are integrated into a calendar up here. So it'll both populate on the main page, and then on this calendar page, it'll just show up on the day, and you can click it, and it'll go right to it. So it's just a way to make our website look like we're actually doing things at the center. Before, it was a beautiful site before, and it still is a great looking site, and so much better than we had in years past. But this is so much easier to update, so people will get a sense of all the things that are actually going on. So it's not going to take me like finding time to get it up there so people can see it. The other big thing that I love is this volunteer application. Well, it's not there anymore, but I will love it when it comes back. An online volunteer form, which we'll get working. Beforehand, the website just linked people to a PDF that you couldn't even edit because we don't have the software to make it a writable PDF. So they would have to print it out, fill it out, mail it or fax it back to us. Sometimes our fax machine isn't working, so maybe they never volunteered. So once this volunteer form gets out, then we'll be able to just have the email right to us, and we can get in touch with them so much faster. Sharon, do you want to say anything? This is my boss. This is Sharon Mitchell, the executive director.
Hello, everyone. Just like to thank you so much for allowing us to have this opportunity. We would not be able to do, we would be able to still have our center and still be able to do our job, but it's just that being able to have an active, working website is the key. And it enables us to have people that can look at our website, know what we're doing, and they can volunteer and they can donate, which is very important. And Emily is not saying enough about that volunteer application because there's only 6 of us that actually operate the center. We use as many as 70 volunteers. So when we can get volunteers to come in and can do a one-time project or just come in basically maybe 1 or 2 hours a week, that's a huge effort. So I'd like to thank Emily, and I'd like to thank all of you, like I said, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you once again.
Next up, we have the Darla, how is Darla or Darla? I never asked.
Darla.
That's what I thought. So here's their before with their 404 page that everybody enjoyed the first time.
So our challenge was to basically give the site a new look. It's largely a static site, and also preferably to make it responsive also. So we decided to try out exercise WordPress and come up with a template that was close to their vision, and then hack on it a little bit. Are there any Darloos? I think Jenny is around. Anybody else? We had another CSS wizard that helped out make a few other changes too and get it closer to what they like. So here we are. Here's the front page, and they did get a resizable, responsive look with navigation. The other thing was to have a map, kind of give a idea spatially of where the different chapters were at, and be able to easily find those. So we were able to integrate in a map for them to see where they're at. Also to reorganize the meeting information. Contact us no longer. I think that was the 404. So we started. but it's not, it's actually information there now, so we got rid of their crazy. But anyway, that's the site on hold. It's in WordPress, so they can now start adding the content, adding images there, building it up, and start going in the right direction for their new site. So, their turn.
Oh, and for those of you that don't know, Gary was the one camping in the tent outside. Chris still here?
Real camper.
Chris Sober, he was in the other tent. So So next up is the Dayton Ombudsman, Montgomery County Ombudsman, not Ombudsman. And here is their before, and I'll let Christopher show them the after.
Okay, so I'm actually going to go back to the original site so you can see a little bit more of what it was like. Just to make sure that the full effect is gotten from this.
We don't want to miss it.
Or assets. And so we basically needed to get together and redo the site and give them a facelift and provide a much easier to use interface for them to update the site on one hand, and then also something that the people that are using the site can navigate easier and see easier and things like that. So let's go there. Here's what it looks like now. And we didn't get even half the things that we needed to on this thing done, but we did quite a bit. We had one WordPress developer, and we probably needed at least 2 or 3. I think by the end, just about everyone here was working on it. There were a lot of people helping out, and I really appreciate all the help that we got. It really helped us get close. Now our page looks like this. So we've got various things. We have a complaint form now, which, if I don't keep having issues with the connectivity, theoretically we'll actually send an email. But we'll work out those issues. So that's pretty much what we managed to accomplish over this weekend, and I personally know from my experience that it's actually quite a lot. So, and I want to personally thank all the people on my team for making this happen. Some of them didn't even make it through the weekend, it was so hard. We lost Maggie, we lost Tony, and they did a massive amount of work. We had great design from McKenna. I don't remember the names of everyone else that came and helped. I mean, that's how many people that we had working on this. So I just want to have everyone, if you helped on my team, can you all stand up? And I want everyone to applaud. There were way more than that. There were way more than that.
I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers of this event and the sponsors of this event and all of the volunteers, and particularly those volunteers that helped on our project. As he said, we had a lot of people coming in using a lot of their specialized skills. We are a nonprofit that really needs to have a good web presence because that's how people find out about us and make complaints, and we report back to people about what's going on, and a lot of the evaluation where people make choices about what long-term care facility they may choose for their parent. It's all online and it needs to be good, and now it is. And we are just very, very thankful. There's no way we could have done this with the funding that we receive, and it's worth even more than $14,000 to us. So thank you, all of you, appreciate it.
So next up is Family Nurturing Center. Theirs was before was paper and everything else, so there's not really a good before, but here's comes the after.
Oh, we got a screenshot.
Oh, you do a screenshot?
We loaded as many Excel sheets as we could fit into one screen and took a screenshot of it before. The cleaned up before, I should say. Oh. Okay. Because there's no website or anything for this one, the project was to take this, which was a collection of Excel spreadsheets, and this is a portion of them, what would fit into one screen. There's reports and other stuff that go with this, but was to take this and convert it into something that was user-friendly, accessible, and could easily be handed off to other volunteers and stuff to help them do their yearly auction that they do every year to raise money for their nonprofit. So me and Tracy had sat down before this for a week or two and had kind of gone through each of these different documents to kind of understand what we were looking at before we did. So we had a big requirement. We had a nice large team, I think 5, 6, 7 people at one point. It was kind of on and off for some. We loaned a couple people out to other groups. And in the end, what all of these spreadsheets translated into was a accessible web application for them. We used the layouts. Is this magnified or something? Get it down there a little bit. Okay, so we turned this in using their standard web layouts. This layout was not our design. We kind of stole it from their their actual website, and we just basically turned it into a web application. So basically what it does is it allows them a nice visual way to manage all of their data for their different auctions over the years, and there's a lot of data. So it allows them to come in, simply select and create new auctions for that year, fill out a bunch of information about them, and anyone who's ever been to an auction knows there's a lot of work that goes into getting those set up. So this is just some of the data behind it that gets it set up. It allows them to easily come in and see who they're sending out, requests for donations to. It allows them, a very friendly interface to come in here, fill out forms, set up data, add new people that they want to send some information to. There's the ability to go back in and see all the donations that people gave you from previous years, all the current donations that are in current auctions. You can make your gift baskets out of the donations that people give you, because not everything comes in a nice, pretty bone basket. So we were nice enough to have Tracy put together a developer basket for our team in the other room over there that was full of goodies, from monsters to chocolate to other hostess snacks, things like that. So we got a hands-on experience of what it's like to take all these donations and put together some baskets. So this provides them a very simple, straightforward way to come in here and, put together the packages in a nice, easy way so they could easily see what does that mean?
That's Chrome fault, Mike.
It's a Chrome error?
Yeah. Now you just have to refresh.
Did I lose it?
You have to refresh from, just with enter. Otherwise, it thinks you're resubmitting.
Okay. Okay. So it allows you to quickly see, put together baskets. Right now, this example we have here, everything is already assigned to packages, but normally they'd be able to see all the donations that were still available. They could manually put together the packages themselves, things like that. Stuff that would take forever. Imagine doing that all by hand with pencil and paper and Excel spreadsheets and lining up data over time. It would just take forever. And after it's all over and all that frustration is done, they can come in now and run some simple reports. See who paid what, see what things ended up with. So now we put together a bunch of nice canned reports for them. These are actually some that they also can use for their mailing list, so they can send out thank you letters, things like that when they're all done to the winning bidders. And we gave them the ability to export all of those to Excel. So they can quickly, easily export those and manage them, mail merge them, whatever they want to do with them. So they got a fully functional web application for, we just missed this year's auction, but we're going to make next year's. We're going to give it a run next fall. So I'd also like to thank the team members that are still here, which is actually most of them. So they're over here, and we have one over here on this side of the room. You guys put in a lot of effort, a lot of hours. Definitely couldn't have done it without you guys. And I think everyone on the team, including myself, definitely learned some things about our app that we built this week. So thanks to you guys.
I too just want to say thank you for all the hours. Like I said on Friday night, we didn't get accepted for our project a few years ago, and so we applied again. And after sitting Friday night and then today, because I couldn't be here yesterday, I was amazed. I thought this was a little simple project, and I have great new respect for everyone in this room. But I also wanted to say to the people who worked on this project, it might have seemed like strange conversations when I would say, well, somebody gave us a gift card to Charlie's, and somebody gave us 2 tickets to a show. We wanted to put them together. It may sound really strange and kind of silly, but the fact is this is our signature fundraising event, and all proceeds from this event support our child abuse treatment services. So the $14,000 estimate, that would have cut half of my profit from my next event to do this. So I thank you, because that's $14,000 that we're putting back into Hamilton County and Northern Kentucky to support children and their families who are victims of child abuse and child neglect. So I appreciate that greatly.
So next up, we have Franciscans for the board, and this is their before. Mike will come show you the after.
Unfortunately, I can't show you the interactive before because we already updated the URL of the new site, so I'll just go ahead and pull that up. There it is. We used WordPress for this. None of us knew WordPress. Now we all kind of know WordPress. Probably not how to use WordPress properly, but we made it happen. First of all, just overall, we had a real nice new design, courtesy of Jill Griffin, who couldn't be here for the presentation, but she did a great job mocking this up and making it look great, the colors and the layout. So we have the just the menu across here, nice capturing image with a little expression about what they're all about. A couple links here to show some of the information that's needs text updated there. That's your job.
I know that. I know how to do it now. Now I can do it.
And see about, we'll go, there's a calendar now for her to, she can update the calendar to add events on here to show the availability or the lack thereof for potential groups that want to come and stay. So that helps her with coordinating that, communicating that. We have a new media gallery with some photo galleries. It's awesome. There's images, and you can go through them and scroll through the pictures. We also were able to link to a video that she hosts out on a different service. She cuts up photos, puts them together as like a collage, right? And creates a video for each group, and she can post that on here now, and it's embedded. There's a forms link for this is really just a list of PDFs. A stretch goal for us was the ability to add the ability to enter forms on here and fill them out and get that sent to her. And we got that, but we didn't quite get to the point where we could really dump it out in Excel and something she could manage. And she's got hundreds of entries, and so for now it's going to be the old way, which works. Links, the ability to add testimonials. People who have stayed can come and submit a testimonial. It gets sent to her, she'll be notified, and then she can approve it, and then if she approves it, it'll show up on the site. Facebook integration, just a link out to Facebook really. And that, and then also we were able to make it responsive. Video and update some CSS there. But you can actually go out to the, oops, that's not what
The other bad sites that aren't my responsibility.
photos line up nice and you can still go in here. And on an iPhone or Android, if you're into that thing, you can actually swipe through the pictures and it works real natively and feels good on that. So that's that. I'd like to recognize our team. They're all back there. Stand up. Matt said you have to stand up. You did a really good job coming together and figuring out how to do this, and a lot of energy and saying like, well, maybe it's a stretch, but let's try to push for it. Let's try to do it. And I do want to say this is my first GiveCamp, so I want to thank the organizers. I think you guys did an awesome job. For only being in the 4th year, I don't know maybe what the expectations were, but this is really well ran, and definitely want to come back again. So thanks, you guys.
I'm just excited because I can actually let people know I have a website now instead of being afraid to send them to it because they won't want to come. So, and I'm totally confident in updating any of this stuff, and which is the biggest part for me. So.
So next we have Night for the Fight. Oops, wrong direction. This is their before. Jason will come show you the app.
All right, so we ended up doing an Brocco site as well, and I had the most Brocco experience on the team, and that was last year GiveCamp, so it was really interesting one for us too. But I think we did a good job. So for the fight, we'll see if it's propagated yet. Hopefully we still get. Oh, look at that! It's propagated. I can show you that one. Yeah, well, I don't know why it did that though. That's weird. So let me try to see if I can get the other one to go for the before. Because org always propagates slower, right? There we go. Wow, this must look different up there. This is really zoomed in up here. Let me see if I can. A little bit. So yeah, there's the old site. So this is what we were working with. It was based on a donation site's template, I guess, basically. And so it's a one-pager at this point. Once you get into some of the donation features, it can go into more pages as well. But it was an informational page. They really wanted to have a site that they could update more frequently, keep it relevant, make it very easy to manage. And not only that, but their main audience was, high school kids, right? And so high school kids look at everything about that. So we were hoping to help them a little bit with that experience as well. So what we ended up doing, again, we did the Brocco site, and for some reason,
Max width 1024. That's why it's showing.
yeah, so I think we found a bug on the site. That really makes me sad. Yeah, if this works, I'm pretty sure I don't want to do it
Oh, look at that. IE doesn't even have the right DNS, so. All right, we're gonna try something else. So I'm really deflated right now.
Hey, it looks good to me.
He made a CSS change right before he came in here, so it's his fault. Well, anyway, hey, I'm going to show you guys the responsive layout that we've designed for this website. You can see it's definitely much easier to view on what a smaller screen would look like. I'm not sure if it's the resolution of this monitor. Can we change it? Well, either way. The site, when it is rendering properly, yeah, we can try to go on the subpages. It has a nice graphical treatment to it and everything too. You can see they've already been working on some of the content. So we're working with Night for the Fight, the organization, to get that in there. So it's a very nice design for that. I'm really floored about the whole layout not working. Yeah. So anyway, you guys can see they've got something that's supposed to work a little better, and it does. It does look a lot better. I mean, even if this was the layout, I think we've had a success over the weekend. Everybody learned to Brocco, worked really well together. It was fun. We had some COBOL programs, some Java programmers, and everybody jumping in and doing Brocco, and it worked out really well. Nobody wanted to kill each other and said, my language is better than yours. Okay, there was a little of that. But outside of that, it was really good. So I don't know. We give them something, they can go in the back end now and manage this, update it. It's fresh, a little more appropriate, I think, for the audience they're looking for. So could the team stand up a little bit, just for a short time? And thanks, guys. You gonna try to put it on the camera?
Probably put a lot of work into that.
Here.
Oh, you have a DJ of that.
No. Oh, we can put it up here. It's night for the dot. NIGHTFORTHE dot. Web 803. Web 803 at 23. This is fun. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to check on this resolution, but I mean, this is it's the monitor's fault. Nice big in-your-face kind of display, which allows them to really kind of show off the content as well. So, yeah, the chaperone is a good one. So anyway, do you guys want to say anything?
So we asked the guys to pretty much put a party in a website because that's what high schoolers want. And Pablo, man, stayed overnight like crazy to put a party on a website. And these guys made it possible that we're able to update this. And I'll tell you what, it's a sexy website. But no, a tremendous thank you to the team. Even in the end, when I said, hey Jason, can I make your head spin? And ask you for one more thing. I didn't make his head spin, so I thank the team for putting up with us and giving us an incredible website that I know the high schoolers will love. And hopefully this year we'll achieve our 1,000 high school goal that we've got. So.
Thank you. It worked with my computer.
So next up we have Price Hill Will. Chase will come down. I think shows two websites actually.
Yes.
This is there before. Can we move back to that?
Yeah, you can't get to that anymore. That was their homepage.
The one on the
That
left,
was their
yes, the one on the left
homepage,
is
and
the
anytime
homepage.
she changed anything, the homepage went like this, and you had to click on page 2 to get to the homepage. So, we had that, and we had Price Hill Living, which I may just happen to be able to still get to if their DNS is not updated, which it hasn't barely done all weekend, so. Oh no, it did update. But anyway, well, we'll see if this trick works. Nope, didn't work for me. Anyway, the Price Hill Living, we'll start with that one. It's sort of a lifestyle, sort of news and events type of portal for Price Hill neighborhood in Cincinnati that's run by Price Hill Will. Their old site was green and it had this like really square logo that they couldn't stand, and navigation that was just like, you know, a waterfall down the side of the page. So, you know, we have this very sharp new site that is responsive and has, you know, things that somebody who's looking for lifestyle in Price Hill might actually want to look for, you know, very easy access. So, and we've updated their calendar to a Google event, from a Google calendar that they had difficulty updating to a Drupal calendar, which is kind of overlapping there, but it also has the ability that somebody can click from public and gives them an event form, they can add it, it sends Price Hill Will an email and they can approve it, and it's on the calendar for the community. So that's Price Hill Living. Price Hill Will is sort of the more information about the organization itself. They had that horrible website with no homepage. Now it has this sharp slider that shows what they actually do and features some press releases on their homepage, their Twitter feed. They have a place to attach their newsletters that doesn't break the layout terribly. Just fixing a number of problems for them, and also we set them up with what's called Civa CRM, which is sort of a client management database. And there's not really a whole lot to show you here other than the fact that it exists. We told her that we were going to kind of set it up and let her have fun. But so if my team could stand up, and actually anybody who helped with Price Hill Will, because there were probably like, gosh, a dozen, yeah, or more. If anybody was in that room, there were like 4 pages of it. Continuously all weekend, copy pasting, you know, fixing issues with Drupal. I'm amazed that I got to hold on to Rizzo as long as I did, you know. So yeah, I mean, just very, very ambitious project, and we're hoping that it helps convey, you know, Price Hill to the community a lot better.
I'm totally floored because I couldn't even get the content to go on the front page right, and now we have a bunch of gorgeous stuff. I've learned so much about how to maintain it. He didn't show you there's a whole documentation section that if I forget when I get back to the office, I can just go in there and say, oh yeah, that's how I'm supposed to get to that spot, which is very, very important for me. You know, the value is incredible because we had this priced out to do one website. We got 4 websites combined and streamlined. I think the value is more like 20 or 30,000 for us at least, and I'm just so happy. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody. We, like you said, we had like 12 people coming in. It was great.
Next up is the healthcare connection. This is there before. Gerard will come down and show you the act.
Okay. So you saw the old website. Let's go to.
website. Okay. So I'm through for a second. Okay, so this is a new. The old website was a collection of static HTML and CSS files. So the primary problem was the one person in the office who sort of knew HTML was the only one who could update it, and when she did, it was very carefully and very, very gingerly. So we put them on WordPress, and now, you know, content's very easy to edit, and there's roles so that content can be approved before it gets published. We had the slider here, which is kind of nice, and you can put events and news. Something changed in the height, so that the copy is sort of flowing. But now the images on the slider can be updated along with the link. The copy can all be done through the dashboard. All jacked up. There's some latest news, so it'll show like the latest post from the blog. If it was centered. Services, there's a video segment in the footer, which is kind of funny because at one point Anthony told me that on the current site, whenever the year changed, they had to update the copyright year on every footer of every page. And over the years, they updated less and less pages, so the year is different than all their footers. So Anthony, now you can update the footer in one place, and all the footers will update latest tweets. So it's pretty much your standard WordPress treatment. We put in some of the copy, like some maps, Google Maps. We put in the donation page. Oh, I'm just missing. There's, what's that? There's basic responsiveness. There's the drop down. So there's also one other thing. Was there anything about careers? Careers? The form?
Yeah.
Okay. The contact us form for people who are looking to work at HCC. So some of it is not live yet because most of the pages look like this, and so some of the content is there, but not all of it. I did want to show, yeah, most of the pages look like this. There's one other thing, which is, so Susan, who is our extraordinary workflow and training and site architecture, was able to put together, let's see, a document which I had told her, I don't know if this is true, as far as I know, it's the first time this has happened at GiveCamp, but this thing is just like amazing. So there's a huge, we have this training document, this manual on, basically on WordPress, and they can have it, and they can refer to it in the future. That's it.
They warned me I was going to be speaking this time. Last time I just walked in there like, oh, you got to go up and talk. So it was great to work with all of you guys. Could you all stand up who helped out on my project?
All right, so yep, Chris and Lachlan and Bill and Susan.
It was great. Thank you guys for dealing with me running in and out everywhere I had to be this weekend. But we can now actually talk to our patients and do what we're supposed to do, as compared to just going out and being like, give me money, give me money. Now we can say, patients, here's how you get better, here's how you be well and stay well. So thank you guys for everything you do.
All right. Last but not least of the projects, we have the Right Knee Flyer. And this is their before, is one giant spreadsheet.
You've seen part of it the whole time, because it keeps coming up in the background. Can I get everybody to stand up real quick? And I'll mention everybody. So we got Joe. We got Andy, we got Chris, we got another Andy. Did we lose anybody? No, that's everybody. And then I'm Ryan Cromwell. This is Tim Gaffney from Right Bee Flyer. This is up in Dayton, just south of Dayton. They manage and facilitate is it the only Right Bee Flyer in the country?
It's the only one flying.
The only replica of the first production airplane in the world, the Right Bee Flyer. They have a number of members that they have come in, so they've heard about that, and they were managing on an Excel spreadsheet. We had an answer to this, and we're pushing it to production on Friday evening when we found out the tool that we were going to use for all this didn't work. And so then Friday became Saturday, and it was a long Friday and a long Saturday morning. And we ended up learning from scratch, basically, how to build WordPress plugins, and that's what we have here today. We built our own WordPress plugin. The repo for this is open. We tried to push it to WordPress.org so other people could use it. It's available for everybody to use if they want to install it, but it's not out on WordPress.org. It may be at some point. So the simple part of it is we have this member listing here where all of their members are available here. You can do some filtering. You can also download it. So they do a lot of integration. So they push a lot of this stuff out to places like Constant Contact and then some other site that they use, Events. I forget what that was called. So they need to grab this information out of here so that they can push it up to those places. They can manage the different people that are in here and their information, so the member types that they have, which are extensive right now and probably not very consistent, as you can see, but in Excel that's easy to do, so we kind of clean some of that stuff up. There are some scenarios that we wanted to support natively, some easy scenarios. So renewals every month or so, they need to go and contact them. So we are supporting renewals, so just make it easy for them to pull out this month's renewals and send those emails out. A lot of their members either don't have at all email or don't want to give email, so they need to contact them when they have flyers or events, and, or need to have them update their membership so they can grab the snail mail members and download the CSV and then print labels out of there. Some simple part, just managing some metadata, the membership types, so that they can deal with some of these types of things. One of the nice things that they can deal with here is as they do this, you can imagine that scenario might get a little tough. So if you're going to delete one, it asks you where do you want to send the new one, so that we can move people from membership to membership. It's just kind of a convenience thing. And then the import CSV. A lot of this was brand new to almost all of us. Chris was our rock star who figured out how to do custom plugins in WordPress and definitely knew PHP far more than anybody else on our team, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, when we came here, we had, as you saw, just a very old Excel spreadsheet, and one of our concerns was that as an all-volunteer organization, we can't really demand too much of our volunteers. We have to work within their capabilities, and by and large, we're a very internet-challenged bunch of folks. So the outcome I wanted was anything better than what we had, which could range from just a better spreadsheet to a full-blown online membership database. And so I was really concerned that we not get something that was too complicated, too intimidating, and yet would help us do a better job of managing our membership records and communicating better with our members. So I'm really pleased with what we got, and I'm doubly pleased that we have something that other organizations might be able to use, and just really looking forward to taking it all for granted and wanting something better.
Thank you.
Few quick things to clean up here, and then everybody can go home after a very long weekend. For our final review, just as a reminder, these are the sponsors. This is how we put it on. This is how we paid for the food. This is how we paid for the facility, everything else. So if you know anyone at any of these organizations, tell them thank you, because that's how we get all this done. Thank you again to Miami. Rod, I don't know if any of you met him. Rod's sitting there. He's the director here. And thank you for the Leadership Council of Human Services, because they help handle our finances for us. So now we have a few door prizes, and that'll introduce.
Before I get to that,
okay.
Everybody wants to go home. But I want to thank personally each and every one of you for being here and staying all weekend. Because this means a ton, and I know to the organizers, who don't know to thank personally, it's great. You guys, it's awesome to see this group. When I see what you guys do, you know, I mean, I work in industry too, but you guys do perform miracles, so just want you to know that. But I do want to thank my fellow organizers. Eric, he works hard. He's hardest working man now. Mike, same way. Puts together videos, jumps in on projects. Peggy will not sit down for a second. She was moving all. There you are. Now she's sitting down. She probably can't get up. Peggy, all the coffee, soda, everything, da 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 da. She was always doing all that. She was extraordinary.
Thank you, Matt.
Oh yes, thank you. Michael and Kelly and the other engaged teams for the pancake breakfast this morning, and also Michael running around, he got all the food and everything like that. But you guys made an awesome breakfast, so that was their idea. Thank you so much for that. And also real quick, 6825, correct? Riley and Tess, and what was your friend's name? Eliza. Who else helped? Elle, okay. Making the what do you call those things? Yeah, okay, look at those bands. So $68, yes, for next year's GiveCamp, so thank you for that. All right, so real quick, we have some prizes. We have a Pluralsight license for an annual subscription, $29.99 or $2.99. Terrible numbers. $2.99